So last class we discussed about networking and also the different types of protocols and also the need of computer networks and advantages of a computer network. Let us learn something about internet and we'll learn about this internet in the next chapter thoroughly. So now just an introduction. When you have a network, so there's a possibility of internet. So what actually internet means? Inter-network. That is, we have a network. It's like a network of network. There is a number of different computer networks are interconnected together that it becomes internet. So maybe whatever we are using technology today is because of internet. So I'm talking to you and you're listening this video or watching this video. This is because of internet. So millions of computers, like different small networks connected together all over the world. So it's a global network. So that's what we call as internet. So maybe we have many small networks. So these small networks are interconnected. Then it is called what we call internet. So what is the internet? So the internet is a worldwide network of computers. That's a computer network. So worldwide network of computer networks. So it's a network of network. You can see a network of network that evolved from the first network. It's actually originated from ARPANET. That's Advanced Research Project Agency Network. So sometimes 1 marks they may be asking ARPANET, Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. The internet is made up of many networks, each run by different company and interconnected at peering points. So it is an interconnection of large and small networks around the globe. So that's what I said. So it's a network of network. So there may be different networks, each run by different companies. So let us imagine. So our school have a computers network, and maybe some other school in some other part of the world so maybe having network. And these interconnections of larger and smaller networks around the globe. That is what we call as internet. The common use of internet standard, normally we have a common use. So all allows users to connect it to one network to communicate with users on another network. So this is normally advantages of computer network. So the common use of internet standards allows users connected to one network to communicate with users on another network. So when you have a network of network means there are many computers. So maybe I have connected to the one networks and you may be connected to some other network, a different server. So but what happens through this internet, I am able to communicate with you. Maybe you are a part of other networks. Maybe you have using computers. You are connected to one different networks. So I am connected to another network. But internet standards, there is a standards where you can exchange or you can communicate between the different computers that are connected over the internet. So that is how it is possible. We are able to connect with one computer in India can be connected to the network in the US or maybe UK or different part of the world. Any part of the world are able to communicate with each other, provided you have connected to the network. And maybe your network is different, their network is different, but these two must be interconnected. That is what we call it. So what's the use of internet? So not only communicating, so all other change of exchange. That's communicate means you can just not voice communication. So all type of digital communication can be established with the help of internet. So now we have the interspace. So what does this interspace means? It is the highest way of communicating. So like using a 3D, so where you can make communication. So that it is one of the latest technology available using internet concept. So what is this interspace? Is a client server software. So it's a type of software program that allows multiple users to communicate online with the real time audio and video. Normally, if you have audio, video, and text chat in a dynamic 3D environments. So dynamic 3D environments means you're actually you're not there, but it looks like real time. So it is exactly you're standing there and you're speaking, like you're giving some speech, maybe at some other place. But when you see that one, you feel it is in front of you. That is using dynamic 3D. So it's a real time. Whatever you speak immediately is available. So the interspace provides the most advanced form of communication available in the internet today. So that's already I've said. This is the standard form of communication. This is the highest standard. So now what we are is the interspace. So where you can exchange the real-time communication, like it's a highest level of virtual reality, where most of the time, so whenever we communicate, like we talk, like you have seen maybe a Modi speech is given somewhere and he was at some place, and but it is communicated like in front of you. They make the softwares and hardware using that, so they'll create the space where it is a real, but actually it doesn't exist there. But it will not be there, but it's like an illusion. So it's like illusion, but it is not an illusion, but it is the virtuality. So that is something about interspace. So now we have some technologies, some terms used with computer network. There are some terms like server, dedicated server, P2P network, node, what are workstations. Let us learn all these things one by one. So some of our typical hardware components of networks. So when you have a computer hardware or the networks, so what are the, like normally what happens means there are many computers connected to the network. So these each individual computer networks are called nodes or workstations. So you can see the term nodes refers to the computer that are attached to the network and are seeking to share the resource of network. That's why they are connected to the network. Of course, so if there is no nodes, there would be no network at all. So that is what the workstation. So workstation or nodes are nothing but the computers, individual computers that are connected to the or attached to the network. And why they are attached means to share the resources of computer networks. So whatever that's a purpose, sharing of resources. And of course, if we do not, there is no node. So if we are not connecting any computers over the network, means there will be no network at all. That is something about. So just we have to learn about what is workstations or node. The nodes are the computers that are connected to the network. That's enough. That is what the workstations or computer. They connected to the network because they want to share the resources of the network. So next we have a server. The servers can be of two types, non-dedicated servers and dedicated servers. So what actually non-dedicated and dedicated means? So whenever we form a networks, there are two types of networks. So one is client server network, another is P2P network. So first one, let us learn about a P2P networks. So in a smaller network, what happens? All the computers works like server. There is not like server and clients. Everyone is individuals, and every computers are able to have the same priority. They can send and receive, and they can share all the resources available over the network, and also they can share the whatever available in their computers to other computers which are connected over the network. So these are normally very slow because there is no one is monitoring. So there is no computers monitoring sharing of resources. All individuals themselves like server, themselves like clients. So normally these type of networks are used in a small networks like some schools or some colleges or maybe a small organizations. There we use these type of non-dedicated server, and we do not know we do not need a powerful computers, and each computer is normal computers and they are connected. They are connected to computer. Sometimes they are also called as peer-to-peer network. So on a small network, a workstation node, that is individual computers, double as a server. Double as means here it behaves like server and also client. It is known as the non-dedicated server because so since it is not completely dedicated to the cause of serving, such servers can facilitate the resource sharing among the workstation on proportionately a smaller scale. We don't have this one. So since one computer works as a workstation as well as server, so it works as a workstation and as well as server. So it is a slower and requires more memory because they have to be powerful computer. And the networks using such servers are known as peer-to-peer networks. So here what happens, you can understand the more important thing is, so, so we do not have a dedicated server. There is no server, that's what important. So since it is not completely dedicated to the cause of serving such servers, they do not have such one. So what they can do means such servers can facilitate what they can do, the resource sharing among the stations on proportionately smaller scale. So they cannot say, let's say because they are small computers, normal computers, so there is no dedicated computer, so they can do in a smaller scale. Since one computer works as a workstation as well as server, so that is important. That's what the non-dedicated server. So it is slower and requires more memory. The network using such server are known as peer-to-peer network. I think you have understood what is in the peer-to-peer network means. There will be no dedicated computers behaving like server, which will be serving for all other computers. Just imagine, when you go to a restaurant, so when you order for anything, there will be a server you call. So what he does means whatever you request, they'll be bringing and keep it on your table. So that is the server concept. You can think same thing at home. So what we do means, so maybe some marriage function. So you go yourself and you take whatever you want. So yourself is a server and yourself is the client. But when you go to restaurant, you can imagine, so there will be a dedicated, there will be a person who will be serving for all the clients on that restaurant. So there may be one or more servers also, depending on the type of restaurant where you are going. So that but at home, maybe sometimes your mother may be serving, she may be a server sometimes, or most of the time you go like self-service. You go and take whatever you want. So that's a small network. That is what non-dedicated server. So in a small networks, normally each workstation behaves like themselves servers and also the clients. So that is what we call as a non-dedicated server. That's a peer-to-peer network. And also we have a dedicated server. So on a bigger network, I think it's opposite now. So there will be one powerful computers that will be serving all other computers, all other workstations node. And they can also monitor how data movements and all the resources will be shared among different users. And also maybe we have a different servers like file servers, printer servers, modem servers. We have for different purposes. So let us learn about dedicated servers. On a bigger network, normally we have installations or bigger networks. There is a computer. We have a computer reserved for server's job. There's a main computers that works. Its job is to serve only. Its only job is to help workstations to access data, all the things over the computers, so softwares, hardwares, and hardware resources. So it does not develop as a workstation and such server. Normally we do not, it behaves like clients and server. And this server is known as a dedicated server. The computer network using such servers are known as a master slave. So normally we have a master slave network. So because the main computer, that's a server, and remaining are slave. Like example, master slave network. That's what I said. When you go to restaurant, so there will be one person or many people who will be serving other people. So individuals who will be having food there, they are called workstations, individual computers, individual peoples. And the one person who is serving everyone is called as a server. So the main job is to sharing the resources, like data, software, and hardware. These resources has to be shared among the different computers which are connected over the network. So since there's a one dedicated computers that is called as a master computers, and remaining are like slaves. So therefore it is called master slave network. On a network, there may be several servers. Depending on the type of network, there may be several servers that allow workstation to share specific resources. For example, already I have told them the server exclusively for serving files related requests like storing files, deciding about their access privileges, and regulating the amount of space allowed for each users. So this server is known as a file server. So there is a once. So normally what happens on a network, so there are different types of servers. So they are dedicated for a particular job. So that's what the exclusively for serving files. We have a files means how these files has to be shared among the different computers which are requested, and also providing the access privilege, which of the computer or the network can access this file, and an amount of space that each user can store its files in a computer's server. So all this is maintained by the file server. So this type of server is called as a file server. Similarly, there may be exactly similar way print server and also modem server. The print server takes care of the printing requirements of number of workstation. Normally, it takes care of all related to the printing job, like printing requirements of number of workstations. So we may be having 10 computers, and 10 computers want to print at the same time. The print server will take care of these things. So it avoids the conflicts when everyone wants to print, and it forms a queue and it prints one by one, and it does take care of. And workstation, maybe, so I want to access the printer right now. So allocating this printer for each of the workstation computers over the network is done by the print server. Not only allocation and also printing, sharing of those printer resources, and monitoring the resolving the conflict, everything is taken care by the print server. And similar way, we have the modem server. So modem server helps the group of networks user use a modem to transmit long distance messages. The modems are used to connect for the internet. So here we have a 10 computers, we have a smaller network, and each 10 computers want to connect it to the internet. So normally what happens means we have to use the modem for individual computers to connect to the internet, to send messages, whatever you do over the internet. So now what happens, the same modem can be shared with all the computers, so that each computers over the computer network can access this modem. It's again allocation and sharing, and you can communicate over the internet. That is the modem server. So depending on the computer network, so we can have different type of server. Server means need not be only one server serving all the tasks. And also you go to big restaurant, you may not find only one server. So there may be many servers. Exactly similar in computer network, there may be many servers depending on what they do. Like we have a printer server, we have modem server, and also we have a file server. Apart from this, we have different servers depending on the requirements. So now we have types of computer networks. What are the different types of computer networks? So computer network means a group of network. Already we have discussed network components. So the computers are linked by means of communication system. Yes, of course. The computers can mean a small group of linked computers to a chain of few hundreds computers of different types. PCs, mini computers, mainframe computers, sometimes supercomputers also spread around the world. So thus a network varies in size. So complexity and geographically spread. So mostly the computers are classified on the basis of a geographical spread, and on this basis there can be three types of networks. So normally what is a computer network means a group of network components, that is computers that are linked by means of communication system. A computer can mean a small group of linked computers to a chain of few hundred computers of different types. Of like example, mini computers, mainframe computers, supercomputers, that's how we can form a network. When you have a network means it is not only we have many computers are connected through the communication medium. That's what we call as a computer network system. But so there may be different types of computers. So one, it may be it is only a few computers are interconnected, a small chain, or maybe it runs with a longer, many computers are interconnected, and also they are made up of different computers, or maybe different types of computers, maybe PCs, microcomputers, mini computers, or mainframe computers. All these are interconnected, and there may be a different part of the world, so they may not be at the same place. Maybe not within only in our college, or maybe within the Gonikoppal only. It may be a different part of the world. So they are interconnected. That's a geographical area. They are spread across the world. So so depending on this geographical the space, or how they geographically they are interconnected. On this basis, we can form, we can say, different types of networks. There are basically three types of networks. One is called local area network, wide area network, and one more is metropolitan area network. So LANs, WANs, and MANs. Let us learn about something about local area network. So normally local area network means that it's a small computer network that geographically covers lesser area, maybe within a campus or maybe within a building. And this type of networks are called as a local area network. So it's like network means it can do all those things, so sharing of resources and all other communication over the computers which are connected over the local area network. What is it? It geographically covers a lesser area. So maybe a school campus, maybe within a bank where we have a bank buildings, or simple environment. So where we not ranges more than a radius of 1 kilometer. So such networks are called local area networks. Let's learn something about small computer networks that are confined to localized area, that is office, building, or a factory, are known as the local area networks. The key purpose of LAN is to serve its users in resource sharing. The hardware as well as software resource are shared through the LANs. For instance, so LAN users can share data, information, programs, printers, and orders, modems, etc. That's a local. So we have a local area network. Means maybe within in a school or my college, we have 10 computers. All these 10 or 20 computers interconnected. So using this, what happens? You can share the hardwares. Sometimes data you want to share, yes, possible. Information, programs, and printers, orders, modems. You can see, you might have also seen in the banks as well. So there may be many computers are interconnected, they are working. And what is the manager's role and what is the other people who are working clerical roles, all interconnected. So anybody can access this data over the network. So and also they can share, they can communicate with each other. So this type of, normally when you have within a building, small companies, they can use to share the printers, hard disks, and modems, all this. So that's how this local area network works. So normally what is local area network means? It's a computer network so which geographically covers a smaller area. So it's a small computer network that are confined to localized area. That is a geographically lesser area. An example, you can see in the entire office we have computers and networks, or a building. So we have a building or we have a factory, all computers are connected. So what happens using this means you can share the resources. The key purpose of LAN is to serve its users in resource sharing. So what is this resource? Any type of resource, that is data, information, programs, hardware, that's we have softwares, all those things can be in hardwares we have modems, orders, printers. In softwares we have programs. Different types of application softwares could also be shared among the different computers or the network. So in a typical LAN configuration, so one computer is designated as a file server, and it stores all of the software that controls the network, as well as the software that can be shared by the computers attached to the networks. Computers connected to the file servers are called workstations. The workstations can be less powerful than the file server, and they may have additional software on their hard disks or hard drives, And most LANs, cables are used to connect to the network interface cards in each computers. So this is something about a local area network. So in local area network, what happens means that's a typical configuration. So one computer is designated as a file server. There will be one computers and all other remaining computers will be the workstations. When you have a computer network in a smaller area network or LAN, so there will be one dedicated computer that is called as a file server. And this file server stores all of the software that controls the network, all softwares, as well as the software that can be shared among the computers attached to the network. That is because server means it keeps everything. So whatever has to be shared among the different computers over the network and software to monitor this network, control this network, that software is also resides in the the main computer, that's a file server. And the computers that are connected to the file server, the other computers which are connected to this servers are called as a workstations node or workstation node, individual computers. The workstation can be less powerful. So these individual computers need not be as powerful as the file server. And they may have additional software as well on their computers and their hard disk. So this individual workstation can also use the hardwares available through the file servers over the network, and also it can have its own additional softwares which can be running individual workstation computers, and also they can make available where other computers could also be shared with over the network. But the file server is the main computers which will be serving all other computers, hence it contains all the softwares and hardwares which has to be shared among the different computers. Hence it will be much powerful than the workstations which are connected to the computers. And most LANs, cables, how they are connected means normally they use cables are used to interconnect. That is the interface media. How these LAN are formed means using the cables. So that's something about local area network. So next we have a metropolitan area network. You can see this is a typical some diagram you can understand. So which covers there will be a router, maybe we'll learn all about these components. Just you understand this is geographically lesser area. This is a different LAN, this is a different LAN. So next is what we call as a metropolitan area network. So as the name suggests, metropolitan. So it's a network. So it's connecting all the computers or the what we call metropolitan city. Such networks are called as a metropolitan area network. So this also used to share the hardware software among its users. What is the definition? I've already told. So metropolitan area network MANs or the networks spread over a city. For example, cable TV networks. You can see the entire metropolitan area. You take Bangalore, or maybe you take Mangalore, or like Kolkata, maybe Delhi, or maybe metropolitan Chennai. So all in that entire city we have a computer network. So that network we call it as a metropolitan area network. So maybe cable TVs, in the entire Gonikopa we have it's not a city example. So all TVs are monitored by one TV connections. That is earlier it was working cable TVs. Now cable TVs are individual. We have a set-top box directly individuals will be using. But earlier what happens means they are using dish, and it was very expensive earlier technology. So what happens, one purpose will be investing because it's a high cost. And using that dish, all other we are able to watch the television. So they are providing. That was existing earlier. So now they are replaced. That's gone. That's entire city will be monitored by one person. So that is the type of networks it was used earlier. So the similar way we have a multiple area network. So in like TV network, cable TV network, so we have computer networks. Entire city is monitored by or interconnected by computers. So such networks are called a metropolitan area. So metropolitan area, we have many computers over that area. All those computers are connected. So that forms a metropolitan, that's a MANS, metropolitan area networks. So we have another is a wide area network. The networks spread across countries are known as a WANs, wide area network. A wide area network is a group of computers that are separated by large distance and tied together. It can be even be a group of LANs that are spread across several locations and connected together to look like one big LAN. So the WANs link computers to facilitate fast and efficient exchange of information at lesser cost and higher speed. So what actually the wider area network means? So wider area network means, as already I told, so wide area network. So the computer network that geographically covers larger area. That is what we call as a wide area network. So normally this we have computers. There may be different computers. There may be a group of small LANs. So we have a LANs. These LANs can be interconnected across the globe. That is to form a one big LAN. So such network is called as a what we call wide area network. So just you think it's exactly similar to like LAN, which covers geographically lesser area. This covers geographically larger area. Maybe we have a computers in Gonikapul, could also we have a computers in Bangalore also. We have computers network in Bangalore and also US or maybe in France. So all these networks are interconnected together. That is what forms wide area network. So now we can think these different individual LANs are interconnected to form a global LAN. So that is what we call as a wide area network. And what is the purpose means? So WAN, when you have a WAN means it facilitates the fast and efficient exchange of information at lesser cost and higher speed. So normally what does this technology means? So when you want to send something from like India to US, from Gonikopal to US someplace means, so it is takes time and also it's expensive. So now because of this wide area, that's because of WAN, so it's a fast, we can send immediately, and also it's a efficient and lesser cost and higher speed. So these are the advantages compared to normal networking. So when you have WANs, that is how we are using anything which can be whatever things happening within a fraction of a second we receive. That is because of WAN, so wide area networks. Computers are connected to wide area networks, that is often connected through the public networks. So we have a different public networks like telephone system. It's also we have a network. So sometimes they can be connected through the leased lines or through sometimes it's the satellites. And the largest WAN existence is the internet. So we have a network of network that we'll be discussing next chapter. That is something about how this network of network is formed means. So using public networks, so telecommunication. Earlier we are using phone to call from India to US. Exactly similar way that link is used. Now or sometimes we use a satellite. Now we are using satellite communication. The largest WAN is nothing but internet, where we can see this all network, many computers all interconnected. So that's a WAN topology, simply just imagination. This may be a different place, this may be a different place, this may be this, all are interconnected. Maybe a different part of the world, so all the computers are interconnected, that forms wide area network. So let us learn something about differences between what is LAN and WAN. Already we have discussed, so geographically covers lesser area and geographically covers larger area. And also the media cables, they may be what type of, because a smaller distance we use cables, so here what they use, and also what is the speed. And we learn about the differences between the local area network and wide area network. So the distance between the nodes is limited, local area network. The distance between the nodes, that's a workstation, is limited. There is an upper limit of approximately maximum, upper limit 10 kilometers and lower limit is a 1 meter. To local area, the distance between the nodes is limited. There is an upper limit, the distance. So when do you call it a local area network? Means all the computers which are connected within the 10 kilometers maximum. And lower limit, minimum means at least you should have 1 meter. So distance, that forms the local area networks. So while whereas WAN usually operate at a speed less than 1 Mbps. Now it goes up to 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps also available. So LANs normally operate between 1 to 10 Mbps using optical fiber technology. It is possible to achieve the space of the order 100 Mbps. So space of order. So how much the distance can go up to 100 Mbps. Now it's available both WAN and LAN work at the same IS speed. Because of the short distance involved, the error rates in LANs are much lesser than WANs, of course. LAN's errors rate is 1000 times lower than WANs. So that's all normal, correct? So what happens means, because they are in smaller distance, because data has to communicate lesser distance, there's a possibility of lesser error rates. So normally we find less errors. But whereas the same, when you connect it to the WAN, definitely there are going to be, the error will be bigger because it has to travel longer distance. There's possibility of collapse and losing of data. And there are many possibilities. There may be network may not work properly, and cables may not work, and we are not able to receive properly. So these are all for longer distance. So therefore, because when you have smaller networks, so we have a lesser errors. The distance limitation involved in LANs normally mean that the entire network is under the ownership and control of single organization. Because we have a LAN means it's my own network that's owned by a single person. This in sharp contrast to WAN, where the network is normally operated by the country's post and telecommunication authorities rather than by its users. So normally what happens, WANs or covers a larger distance and also different networks. So it is not owned by individuals. It's owned by telecommunication authorities. Different countries have where they put the servers. Depending on there, they have. We are not the author of what we call authorities of the global network. So let us learn. We summarize the differences between the LAN and WAN. So the diameter of LAN not more than few kilometers, maximum 10 kilometers, spans the entire countries. So that's the distance, no restrictions. A total data rate of at least several Mbps. So data rate less than 1 Mbps. Now it will be replaced. Now we have in more than Mbps also. Exactly, almost similar nowadays. Complete ownership is a single organization, owned by single organization. So owned by the multiple organization, because telecommunication industries and also digital, wherever run by the other things, the multiple organizations. Error or no, so very low error rates, comparatively higher error rates, so low error. So these are the typical, what we call causes of, or what is the typical causes of error rate means already I have explained, because it covers less distance, error rate will be less. It covers a higher distance, so error rate will be high. So that is the difference between the LAN and WAN. So next we have a network topology. The actual appearance of network, we have a topologies. There are different types of topology. Bus topology, we'll learn all this in the next class. Okay.